Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gym of the Crypto, episode 569. I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we are here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community Monday through Friday at 10ish.
At 10ish. And today's top stories. Bitcoin difficulty sees 2-year record surge as hash rate mimics 2017. Canada's central bank is serious about designing a CBDC, job posting reveals. U.S. tax court says you should sell your crypto savings if you owe IRS. That sounds like some gangland stuff. Kraken launches crypto exchange service in Australia, and Binance to launch UK trading platform for institutional and retail investors. But first and foremost, what's going on with these prices today?
Oh, yeah. So, not much movement from yesterday, but Bitcoin is at $9,368, down 1% today. Ethereum at $231, down 1% as well. XRP on the cusp of some good news at 19 cents is up 0.2%. Bcash at $237 is up 0.5%. Litecoin up 0.5% as well to $43.91. And last but not least, EOS at $255 is down 0.78%. So mix of green and red, not much movement. We've seen a lot of sideways movement the last few months. So nothing really to get excited about.
All that chop. We've been in chop for about a year. I mean, hey, chop is better than a bear market though, because Bitcoin was dead just a year ago. So this is good to see that this year we're back in that chop. Yeah. And again, as we said, it's looking like it's middle toward the end of year 2016, going into 2017 again with the way everything's looking. So we'll see how this plays out. Don't forget it's an election year too, people. The craziness is far from over.
Man, as if 2020 couldn't get crazier.
Man. No, we still got time. We still got half a year left. All right, Bitcoin difficulty sees 2-year record surge as hash rate mimics 2017. Real quick, I had to give some quick shout outs. What's going on? Tiffany from New York, Madam Crypto, Shannon Allen, Raj Shu, Tommy Brown. Yeah, there we go. Shannon Allen said daily news feels more back to normal. There we go. Cornelius Broad Knox, Blockchain Shuja, Mauli Toxic Frog Juice. Long time no see. Mauli Toxic said congrats on the book blowing up. Yes, good to see that as well.
Appreciate that.
All right. Looks like, again, Bitcoin mining difficulty has surged as the hash rate goes up. A giant 14.95% advance makes analysts confident as miners appear to balance increased cost to retain profitability. What's going on with mining here? Because as the halvening was coming, I thought everyone was saying that the hash rate was either going down to its lowest ever since, and it wouldn't be profitable to mine anymore, and this would be the end of Bitcoin as we know it. So what's going on now here a month later?
Oh, yeah. So one of the things with the Bitcoin industry is if you've been in it long enough, are patterns. And anytime we have a halvening, there is a decrease in mining difficulty simply because there are miners who can't afford it. But those small miners are very few compared to the big miners who can afford it. So the difficulty changes for a second. And then, of course, it shot right back up to all-time highs. And it was pretty quick. I mean, it literally was, a few days. And most of the people who saw this dip that have been in it for a while didn't panic. But some people might have saw this mining difficulty as a problem. And what I tell people all the time is, look at the halvening before that. There was always going to be a dip because some miners can't afford to run mining software without those transaction fees being more, than they were because
the margins are so low.
Exactly.
Small.
The margins, the block rewards went from 12.5 Bitcoin every 10 minutes to 6.25. Some people who are in mining pools can't afford that based on their mining equipment, but most can. So you will have that dip, but then the bounce back is always good. I hate that people comment on both ends, like, oh, it's going to shit, and then, oh, it's coming back. Okay, just look at patterns. Bitcoin's mining rate is fine, and it is a good leading indicator of price. When the mining difficulty increases and when more people are mining, there's more people with hash power, there's more nodes that are working. That just means that the price is going to follow at some point. So this is actually good news for most people who don't understand mining. Don't worry about it. Just know that if mining difficulty increases to its highest point, price is going to follow at some point. So looks like we're on the verge of a bull run, and shout out to the miners who have stuck with it. I know some that have been around since 2011. So Shout out to you all.
I know, as you said, and this article kind of points out too, we're on the verge of a bull run. What does that mean? When we look at all these mining charts, we say we're on the verge of a bull run. Are we saying 6 months from now, 3 months, a year, 2 years? what does on the verge to bull run mean when it comes to this mining network hash rate?
Yeah, so if we keep increasing in mining hash rate, I would say by quarter 4 is where we'll start to see the big bull run. We may see a quick pump in price, sort of like 2017 with a price pump, but then quickly retraced and then got back to normal by quarter 4 again. I think we'll see something similar to that this year. Quarter 4 2020, quarter 1 2021 is when I think that hash rate or the price will follow that hash rate.
All right, as this article said, the hash rate gains echo of 2017. It looks like it's mimicking the year of 2017, as we were saying. This year kind of looks like 2016, 2017 all over again. Only time will tell, but as Bitcoins, they said, quarter 4, make sure you're paying attention to what's going on in these markets.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on? Khalil, Ariel Walker, Morpheus Mine said, still working in my man cave. There we go. Ariel Walker said 2 Bitcoin machines were installed at the gas station down the street from me in Connecticut. Nice.
Yeah.
There we go.
They out here. Yeah, I saw a Bitcoin machine down at the beach when I went to go visit.
There we go. What's going on, P-Man Van?
Can't escape it. Bitcoin's everywhere.
Speaking of Bitcoin ATMs, Canada's central bank is serious about designing a CBDC. Job posting reveals. Those job postings always give it away. It looks like after years of research, and I will actually give it to Canada when they say years of research, because if you remember, Andreas Antonopoulos spoke to the Canadian Senate. What was that, back in 2014?
Yep.
So 6 years now, crazy. 6 years later, Bank of Canada is preparing to design its own central bank digital currency. What is going on with this plan that they revealed in a job posting with the Bank of Canada?
Oh, yeah. So they put out a statement stating the Bank of Canada is embarking on a program of major social significance to design a contingent system for a CBDC, which can be thought of as a banknote, but in digital form. So they're going to give you your own money, but in digital form, and then they're going to charge you for it. Canada has started their program following other countries. U.S. has already had CBDCs introduced. European countries have already had it. So they're not late, but they are, developing at this point to release these CBDCs. And we said this, a year ago? A year and a half ago?
It was longer
2
than
years?
that. Yeah. When they started mentioning
when
the
they
word
first start
CBDC.
saying the word CBDC,
I
we got to
remember the
find
article.
that show.
Okay,
we got to find
we
that
do
show.
have to find the show. The article had it in like 10 times.
They had CBDC so many, and we said they're training you to understand that this is what's coming. Because all in all, I mean, as far as people trying to work cryptocurrency with banks, it's not happening. I mean, you may have some blockchain distributed ledger technology stuff, but they're going with CBDCs because, it's a token based and they control the ledger. Like we said, the difference between the system we have now and the system we're working towards is who controls the ledger. You control the ledger, you control the money.
It's about who controls that data right there. Yeah.
Canada's like, well, we're going to control ours. So, do what you want. But CBDCs are coming regardless, people. It's nothing you can do to stop them. All you can do is recognize what they are and then and basically educate people on the fact that, this is not cryptocurrency, but Canada's going forward with it. So hopefully they can use it to wipe out some of the fees that go with banking and wipe out some of the latency, the long periods of wait. But even still, it's still fiat money, and they're just putting it in digital form.
And that's the thing. I mean, again, we already have CBDCs, people. The only thing is that they didn't realize that they could control a ledger the way that Bitcoin does, or they have the ability to see everyone's transactions on one ledger. Right now, everything's separated, right?
Yeah.
You got Visa over here, you got American Express, you got this, you got cash, you got fiat of different countries. Now they know that, hey, we can actually put all this on the same thing for everybody. So that's the only difference. Other than that, we're already using it in the form that they're trying to use it on. Now, looking at this project manager, I mean, hey, we need to apply this. I wonder if you have to be Canadian to do this. But as it says here, the Bank of Canada has a vision to be a leading bank as they talk about the central role they want to play for this. But the project here, embarking on the project of a major social significance to design a contingent system for a central bank digital currency, which can be thought of as a banknote but in digital form. They're talking about how this is to break new ground. This project will be breaking new ground. And it talks about the different factors it's going to take in consideration. It talks about the challenges it has, which is pretty interesting. Some of the challenges are private. They aim to design the CBDC to be private, but they say, but not for cash-like anonymity, which one thing we always tell people when the government talks about Bitcoin being anonymous is like, no, cash is more anonymous, people.
Cash is still king when it comes to anonymity.
Right. So they say the CBDC should be highly private, yet meet the obligation to be compliant with anti-money laundering and other regulations. which means it should be private for you citizens out there, but it should be public for the government to see what you're, or excuse me, I said that backwards. It should be private for the government, but public for citizens. That means the banks want to be able to see all transactions, but they want you to feel like your transactions are safe from other third parties outside of the bank. So it's crazy to actually see them point that out. Again,
where I'm from, we call that the okie doke.
Right, that is definitely the okie doke. When they talk about some of the specialized skills you would need, they talk about what project management success. It's all about a bunch of broad stuff. They never actually say, here is solid understanding of IT service delivery. Depending on who interviews you, depends on what you actually need to say to have that experience, right? Advanced knowledge of project lifecycle management, strategic and tactical thinking. So again, a lot of broad things. And the reason why it's broad, and it should be broad, here we can look at the education experience. It's talking about a bachelor's degree in computer science, engineering or business, administration, and a minimum of 5 years of project management experience in the financial services or tech environment, or an equivalent combination of education experience may be considered. It's crazy to see this because the person who's going to design this might not be the person they look at on paper to be the project manager on paper might not be the actual best project manager for this. We've seen this in many different government hiring jobs when it comes for this sector. So I don't think Bank of Canada is going to be any different. I think they're saying they want that degree and all that, but I don't think it really matters if you know how to come in and talk to them about what they're looking to build. It looks like the salary range will go from $83,000 to $104,000. As per usual, not enough money for this type of project. Come in and build an entire currency for our country, but we're only gonna pay you $104,000.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah, so
I mean, I want a percentage of the fees, baby.
Right,
but it's funny too that they were quoted as saying, while the use of cash may have decreased during the pandemic, we have not seen a material change in demand for banknotes. So they're basically forcing it on you. People still want to use cash, but I will say I've seen a lot of cashless businesses out here in LA and in other big cities. I'm sure the same thing is happening because of germs. But whatever reason it was going to happen, we knew we were going cashless. So I'm sure they're going to force this CBDC on you in Canada and in other countries.
Yeah. Smiley Toxic Frog Juice said, I'm in Frankfurt, European Central Bank. They are late in the game, but the plan is to consume zombie banks and individual banks or individual bank directly, or have individual bank directly deal with the central banks. Yeah, I get what you're saying, for sure. I think that's going to be the ideal goal here. We talked about some of the Bank of America buildings that are, there are virtual stations at them now. It's just literally empty service desks, and they just put computers in them. So, I can foresee that happening here too, where there's a lot of satellite banks that cost a lot of money to operate. We're like, we really don't even need it anymore at this point.
Yeah, get out of here with that.
Customer service could be done on Zoom, and you can do all your transactions digitally.
The world is changing.
It's changing. U.S. tax court says you should sell your crypto savings if you owe IRS. That is correct. The U.S. federal court sides with the IRS in a dispute involving crypto whales and unpaid taxes. Before Bitcoin Zay unpacks this story, I just have a simple question to ask. When has the United States federal court never sided with the IRS?
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about? It's the IRS and the federal court.
Yeah.
I hate to even
see. They play golf together.
Yeah. Bitcoin Zay and King agreed on something that, like, the fix wasn't in on that
exactly.
one. Exactly. What's going on with this story?
So there's a Maryland couple who they owed the IRS $1.1 million in taxes in their 2017 tax return. And the IRS said, well, if you can't pay it, what you should do is cash out some of your $7 million worth of cryptocurrency and pay them back with that. So what they're basically saying is, one, their cryptocurrency is on an exchange that they can track. For two, they didn't pay their taxes in cash, but IRS is somehow saying, hey, trade in your cryptocurrency and pay us. When in reality, them keeping in the cryptocurrency, IRS can't touch it. It's not an official currency, so they can't actually pay in cryptocurrency. They have to cash it out. And they're trying to do it over a 6-year installment plan. And because they earn, $200K in wages, and basically they can withdraw from their cryptocurrency account and pay that off in installment plans. But people, do not cash in your cryptocurrency to pay off the IRS if you don't have to. They're basically telling them this is an option that you could do to pay off your debt. But you never have to cash out your cryptocurrency if you don't want to. It's not legal tender. Remember,
one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin.
Exactly. Remember, it's fake money. They can't do anything with it because they haven't made it legal government tender. If they did, the price would skyrocket overnight. So they can't actually do that, but they can suggest that you cash it out and then pay taxes on it, which is sort of. I mean, I expect it to come, but it's very dirty.
If I'm paying taxes on crypto,
yeah.
One more time for the people in the back. If I'm paying taxes on crypto, Jamie Dimon needs to be in jail. There it is.
Everybody.
I said it.
Everybody.
All right, you can't say Bitcoin is a fraud, and then
Everybody
the same 12 months be like, oh, yeah, but you had to pay on that. Again, I'd rather you just tell me straight up, hey, time to pay your dues.
Yeah, exactly. It was Beanie Babies. And crypto is tulips, and crypto is
crypto's tulips.
Bananas are worth more than crypto.
Oh, you idiots! Oh, everybody can be a speculative genius. You YouTubers out there. Oh, but by the way, we need that tax money back.
But now that it's real,
come on,
get your hand out of my pocket.
Come on.
But
this is crazy.
But it is very indicative of how far the IRS will go to get their money. If you owe them, they will do what they have to do to take it. I just want to make sure people understand. Don't keep your crypto on exchanges. I'm pretty sure they got this data directly from an exchange. Simply an email. Yes, this is their account. This is what they have. Move it off exchanges. Even if you purchase it, they can't prove how much you have if you moved it to a separate wallet and moved it around from there. So keep it off exchanges, or you'll be like this couple having to do an installment plan selling your cryptocurrency. Garbage.
I just want to throw this out there too, only because I know we've had the protests going on, some looting and rioting in places. I mean, look, if we're going to send the mob in certain direction, the IRS building, all right? I'm not saying people, but all those computers and little notepads and pens, just break all the pens. Break all the pens, rip up all the paper. Yeah. Let's set them back a good 3 or 4 months from everybody, all right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, DDoS them to the ground if y'all want to DDoS somebody.
Yeah, y'all out here messing with Twitter and stuff.
Leave Instagram alone, man. DDoS
no more Jack slander over here. Go ahead and throw that energy toward the IRS.
No, boy, Jack slander, baby.
Let me stop playing. IRS be like, hey, we looking out for y'all. Hey, IRS is some good people over there. Y'all need to go ahead and leave them alone. No. All right, Kraken is back in the news as they launch a crypto exchange service in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
That is right. Kraken, one of the largest exchanges by trade volume, is extending its services down under. What is this California headquarter firm doing in Australia now?
Oh, yeah. So Kraken has allowed their Australian customers to use Australian dollars. The exchange said it will offer instant funding to those users who make deposits via OXO and Pay ID-enabled Australian bank accounts. Now, because of regulations, you will not have any sort of, secrecy or privacy. You will have to do KYC on their exchange. But Kraken has provided a few on-ramps: the US dollar, Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, the euro, British pound, Japanese yen, and now the Australian dollar. So it is a great way to onboard new users. Allowing them to buy cryptocurrencies on their exchange. And it's a good power move by Jesse Powell, one of the best CEOs, I would say. He didn't, bow down to whoever was trying to press him before.
Shout out to Jesse
Powell. Yeah. And Kraken moving forward is great to see. Hopefully the UX and UI is a little bit better. I haven't been on the site in a while, but yes. Good.
Yeah, again, shout out to Kraken. Never had any big issues with it, as Bitcoin Zay was saying. The UX and UI was not friendly for first-time users for exchanges for the longest amount of time. However, it did work, and they were one of the first exchanges, as we always mentioned, to do margin trading. They were one of the first there. I remember Ripple was a big one to margin trade back in the day on it. So shout out to Kraken, and as you said, for not bowing down to the government just because they want their piece of power all of a sudden. And shout out to Chats We Decentralize. That's right, we are back. Saw your message in the comments the other day. We appreciate it. And shout out to Clarence Dennison. Clarence said, I took the next step and enrolled into General Assembly Boot Camp in Dallas, getting the blockchain job.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Clarence. That's what we're here for.
There we go.
I don't know how many people that have been watching us over the years.
I was just thinking about that.
Blockchain jobs or got careers in the field. Shout out to you all taking to the initiative. We can talk till we blue in the face, but if nobody's actually doing anything, it doesn't matter. So appreciate that.
And low-key, this is how you build your resources. When you say, I know this project is doing X, Y, Z for a fact because I talked to people over there or whatever. And now when you're making investments, they aren't just dumb investments. They're smart investments. And people are like, well, how do you know X, Y, Z? He's like, well, I literally called.
I just had lunch with the CEO.
Right, exactly. So it's almost the same thing with the crypto warriors here. I mean, as Bitcoin Zay said, I mean, it's a handful of crypto warriors who've been like, hey, ever since we started watching you all, we got a job in this space. And these are people we reach back out to, and we get it from the horse's mouth about what their project is doing. So it's always cool to see that as well. What's going on, Harold George?
Oh, yeah.
All right, last but certainly not least, Binance. They heard Kraken was in the news. Binance, if it's going to be an exchange in the news, let's go ahead and get ours out there too. Binance to launch UK trading platform for institutional and retail investors. That's right. Binance will launch a new digital asset trading platform in 2020 in the United Kingdom to serve its increasing institutional clientele, says. With this platform, Binance aims to tap the institutional investment market and meet the rising demand for digital asset investments in the sphere. So, is this just another regular Binance exchange, or is it going to be separate portals for institutional investors and retail investors? How's this going to work?
Oh, yeah. So it looks like this platform will be a little different or separate. And Binance UK, they have said here they aim to tap institutional investment due to rising demand. They're reviewing 65 digital assets to list on the exchange at launch. So yes, this will be a separate platform, and it will function under this long ass name, UK Faster Payment Service and the Single Euro Payments Area Network.
Woo! There you go.
Jesus Christ, who comes up with this? Hesa Christo. This will purportedly make the crypto trading experience smoother. And they said with more maturity in the crypto market, they're looking to involve more institutional investors. And for the most part, they are doing their part to try and get people introduced to these assets, introduce things like staking, passive savings. And because institutional investment has spiked, I see the move there. Derivative of a derivative of a derivative. CZ don't care as long as
they're gonna bury Bitcoin so deep on this. People like, why would you ever want to buy Bitcoin? You're like,
Bitcoin futures on top of a derivative for Bitcoin past, and I don't know. They're gonna have a market for everything. But if it can be traded, it will be on an exchange. So I'm not blaming Binance for stepping forward with that. But UK is a good first step. UK and Europe are usually like testing grounds for institutional investment platforms, and then somebody in the US comes up with something similar. Gemini already has it, but yes, Binance is moving forward. CZ doesn't care about none of that. We're making this money. He's gonna keep those billions.
All right. And it looks like here, according to Binance, I was looking at the comments about to start laughing. According to Binance, this platform saw an increase in the number of institutional clients, which jumped 47% since quarter 4 of 2019. So that happened quickly, as we can see. Binance also claimed its institutional volumes has risen by 113% during the first quarter of 2020 on spot transactions, and increased a 217% percentage increase on futures investments. So it looks like they are pumping it out on all ends over at Binance. They want to keep this gravy train rolling.
It ain't stopping. No time soon.
Right. All right, last couple of quick shout outs. Going on Trek, PFC Wells, Cozy, Josie. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And Madam Crypto, what's going on? Madam Crypto gave you a shout out for everything you got going on.
Oh, yeah.
All right, other than that, that is the show for today. You have anything?
Yes, at 30 minutes, join Swan Signal Live. I'll be on there with Max Kaiser. We're doing a joint show today. We'll be going back and forth, talking about different topics, talking about the book, talking about Bitcoin in general. Join us there at 11 Pacific time, and the link will be on my Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you want that link.
There it is. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow at the same time of 10ish. Until then, cheers.
Cheers.